In 2008, iMindMap was chosen as a product to be used in the Petra Nobel conference held in Jordan. King Abdullah II was kindly organizing an event where over 30 Nobel Prize winners from around the world got together to discuss solving the problems and issues that surround child poverty. iMindMap as a tool was selected to be part of that process, and it was incredibly fulfilling to be part of that whole exercise. Now, brainstorming is such an important element of any organization. It allows us to come up with new ideas. It allows people within the organization to add their own ideas. But unfortunately, so many people only go part of the way to effective brainstorming. Let me give you an example of how not to brainstorm. It's something that we can all relate to because we've been in situations where this happens. You have to brainstorm a new idea. So everyone comes together, they sit together in a room, and the brainstorming session might be facilitated in different ways. People might have post-it notes being put up all over the room. It might be throwing out ideas. The problem with brainstorming in that type of environment is that one's mind always associates to what's being said. So if I say pink elephant, then you will think pink elephant. If you're in a brainstorming session and somebody shouts out an idea, your natural human reaction is to think, do I agree with that idea? If so, how can I support it? Do I disagree with that idea? If so, how can I discredit it? Or am I not sure? Therein is the problem. You start to think and consider the idea that's been thrown out there. So that distracts you from creating new ideas yourself. You will possibly create the same issue because you will throw out ideas which other people will then consider and start thinking about. And quite often, single individuals within a brainstorming session will control the whole brainstorming session. It might be because of their strength of character or their strength of belief in the idea or the solution that they're proposing, but it defeats the whole concept of effective brainstorming. So how does one brainstorm effectively? Well, if you use a tool such as the mind map that allows people to capture ideas in a very, very generative way, then you allow individuals to capture things in a more effective way. Now, let's say you had 12 people that were going to be involved in a brainstorming session. The most effective way to work with them is to get them all to brainstorm individually on the first instance. So get them all to create their own mind map on what's going to be discussed. Do that individually. They can't be influenced by others' thinking, and they create a document that they can print out or they can bring with them, or they can email prior to a session, a brainstorming session. Now, the next step isn't just everyone coming together with those mind maps. The next step is to get those individuals working in small groups. So let's say we'll have 3 groups of 4 or 4 groups of 3. They all come together, they've printed their mind maps out, they can share their ideas, no one can take control, no one can influence their thinking because it's already been captured. Now, one individual within each of those groups will be chosen as a group leader, and will look at commonalities between all of the mind maps that have been created by individuals in that group. You then end up with one group mind map. That's when you go into the full brainstorming session. So all 12 individuals come together. The individual group leaders have mind maps which have the culmination of all the ideas from people within their group. You then have a very, very clear platform on which to continue the brainstorm. No one has been overly influential in coming up with the ideas, and then as a group you can all create a single mind map. You can all have ownership of that single mind map, and it becomes far more effective.